Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being on my show.
That's okay, no worries.
Little bit alarming, this national figure, that only 7 people signed up for the sperm donation programme. That's amazing.
It is, yes, and that's over a 2-year period as well, I think.
Wow. Unbelievable. That's nationally. I'm led to believe that you guys in Manchester do quite well, though, when it comes to this.
We do very well. In fact, we've done so well that we've recruited about 40 donors last year in 2015, and we've been increasing year on year, really, since the removal of anonymity in 2006, which kind of shows that it's not really that people don't want to donate anymore, it's just the way you recruit them, I think.
I was going to ask you that, whether the anonymity thing has played a massive part into the dwindling of these numbers.
I think it has, but only in that most donor banks that existed back then felt that it would be too difficult to recruit donors, so they gave up. And, there were a handful of clinics that kept going, like Manchester Fertility, and we found that it's the old students that were donating for a bit of extra cash, stopped donating, but actually they were replaced by more altruistic donors who were donating because they wanted to help people.
Yeah.
So it changed the profile of the sort of person that donated rather than stopped people donating completely.
John, can you just clear up the process of how someone does donate? Because if they've never been in that situation, they will have a mental picture in their head. Maybe that is a bit seedy, maybe that is a little bit grubby or something like that, but that's not the case at all.
No, it's not. It's completely different. I mean, there are lots of myths about donation, such as, you're going to have the child support agency chasing you for money to support all these children, etc. But you're not. There's a regulatory body, the Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority, and they license clinics to recruit donors, so like Manchester Fertility, and Manchester Fertility has now set up a sister company called Samovo to tackle the problem of the shortage of donors. So we have a fantastic process whereby you can apply online to become a donor, and you can go to our website at www.samovo.co.uk and or email us on donate@samovo.co.uk. And there's an application form to fill in, so you just complete that, push a button, send it off to us, and we have a dedicated team of people that will process that application and contact you. We need details about your own and your family medical history, because you need to be free from any inherited disorders within your family that obviously could then be passed on to the donor-conceived children. And you have to go through a screening process to make sure that you're not carrying any infections such as STIs like HIV and hepatitis, etc. Once you pass the screening process, and providing you're the right age, which is between 18 and 41 years old, so a prime fertility age, we can do a test sperm count on you, and if you've got a good count, then you can become a donor. And we have dedicated donation centres. The idea now being that one of the sticking points was that people can only really donate at a clinic near them, because it's something that you need to do on a regular basis, roughly once a week for the best part of a year. So you have to commit the time to it.
Okay.
But you need to have somewhere close by to you where you can do it.
Of course, yeah.
So we've had a clinic in Manchester for a long time, since the 1980s, when we first set up a donor clinic. But we've now expanded to Liverpool. So we have a donation centre in Liverpool, and we're about to open one in Leeds in the new year, which means that people can donate, hopefully at a place that's conveniently located for them, so where they can either pop in the morning before they go to work or at lunchtime. We have Saturday clinics as well, so we're offering people convenient location and a convenient time to donate, to try and make it easy for them. And Samovo is hoping to provide a network of donation centres throughout the UK. And this is where the problem is laid. We've had a reduction in donors in the UK because there haven't been enough places for people to go and donate.
Okay, all right, okay. When you speak to gentlemen to donate,
yes,
what reservations do they bring up with you?
I think they might feel a little bit embarrassed initially, but once they've come in and they've chatted with us, they realise that we're perfectly normal human beings who aren't there to laugh and joke about them. We're doing something serious to help people achieve their dream of having a baby. And without a donor, whether it's egg or sperm donors, they won't be able to have a baby.
Yeah.
And nobody thinks it's seedy or funny to donate eggs. Everybody thinks of egg donors as really altruistic people. So why can't we think the same thing about sperm donors?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Regarding sperm donors, because I'm just thinking in my own head now, right? If I was to do this, I wouldn't necessarily want to know the real details of the outcome of my donation, but
Right.
I think I would like to know, just for peace of mind, that I've done some good, if that makes sense.
Absolutely,
That it resulted in a baby, or it resulted in making a family happy. Is that possible, or does that not happen?
No, it is absolutely possible. As a donor, you are entitled to find out how many children or families you have helped,
Wow.
what the gender is of those children, and the year that they were born. And that's because now it's not anonymous anymore. You can be traced as a donor, but not until the donor conceived person is 18 at least. So realistically, you're looking at about 20 years down the line, really, if not longer. And it means that you then have an expectation of who might contact you, how many might contact you, and roughly when they may contact you from. But there is a limit set by the Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority on the number of families that a donor can help.
Yeah.
And that's 10, a maximum of 10. But any donor can specify less than 10 if they want to. Some people do, or some people are completely comfortable with 10 families.
Is there support and help available to donors and families that are receiving donations? Because I can imagine not everybody's the same, and some won't want to find out, some will want to find out.
Yeah.
Every situation is different, but I'm sure that there are maybe psychological problems that might happen a little bit later on that people need support with. Is that available?
Yes, it is. There's the HFEA, the regulators, have a plan set in place, because we're not at that 18-year point yet. We're only 10 years into the removal of anonymity.
Yeah.
But their plan is that the donor-conceived person is the only person who can ask for identifying information about the donor, not the patient that had treatment originally.
Okay.
Just the donor-conceived person. If they want to know, they will be offered counselling before they're given any information. And at the same time, the donor will be contacted, forewarned that somebody may be interested in contacting them and knowing a little bit more about them, and will therefore be offered counselling. So they may feel that only they need counselling, or they may feel they don't need any, they're quite prepared for it, or they may have a family and children of their own that are young teenagers, and they can all have counselling if they want to. So there's a system set in place, a support network for both the donors, the donor-conceived people, and their families as well. Before a donor is taken on, before a person is taken on when they apply to be a donor, they will have an implications discussion to explain the process fully to them and what's involved. They will have a counselling session as well, and they will see a doctor and have a medical consultation, which will be looking at their own and their family medical history for several generations. So there's support there set up before we even take them on as a donor to help them to decide whether that's for them. But there's continuing support and then support at the end as well if that's what they need.
That's good to hear, because there's a lot to take in, of course, and it's a big decision for a lot of people to make.
It is, yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing. I'm a blessed man. I'm very, very lucky that naturally me and my wife are being able to conceive children.
Yeah.
But I know through friends, through family members, not a lot of people are blessed in that particular circumstance.
Not everybody is.
Yeah, biology can be horrible sometimes to some people.
It's almost a luck of the draw, really.
Yeah.
And so many people these days can't have children easily for whatever reason. Sometimes it doesn't involve sperm or eggs specifically, but it's to do with physiology of the person. But for sperm donation, it's there's heterosexual couples where either the man has no sperm or he has a hereditary disorder that they don't want to pass on to their own children.
Yeah.
It could be single ladies who have not met Mr. Right yet, and their biological clock's ticking, so they feel that they would like a child, but they need a donor, and they don't want to go off and do the,
that's fair enough.
Just find somebody on the street kind of thing. And also same-sex couples as well, who obviously need a donor because they haven't got somebody to provide the sperm. And it's far better that it's done through a regulated clinic where the donors are screened, the samples are frozen, which allows the donor to go through a quarantine period, if you like. So the samples have to be quarantined for 6 months minimum before they can be released, and the donor's rescreened several times throughout his donation period, allowing the samples to be released only when they're really safe and they're completely free from any STI, any infection that could possibly then affect the patient and therefore possibly the baby. And without these altruistic people volunteering to be donors, as I said, it's the emphasis has shifted from a young student who was donating for a bit of extra cash to somebody who is genuinely doing this to help people, either because they have friends who've been able to conceive themselves, or they've read about a story in the press, etc. And without them, we couldn't do this, and there would be many, many people unable to have children.
Joanne, I'm with you on everything you've said. Please, one more time, give us the details, and if you need to spell various things of the websites and stuff like that, don't be frightened. Go for it. Go.
Okay, well, I better spell Semovo, which is from semen and ovum, so it's SEMOVO. Our website is semovo.co.uk, or you can email us at donate@semovo.co.uk, or ring us on 0345 266 1272.
Superb. Joanne, thank you so much for your time.
Fantastic. Thanks for speaking to me.